Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. So today in this video, we are going to be talking a little bit about Doublelift once again. He is gotta be the biggest name professional player on the market right now. You know, obviously there's some good other free agents too, like Jensen, like Niski, Sven Skaren obviously just got picked up, but he was another one that's kind of floating around out there. Ignar, there's all these different kinds of players, but Doublelift is Doublelift. Whether you think he's good or washed up or he's going to be great or he sucks or he's bad or whatever, he's a huge name. He has a huge legacy, all the stuff that comes along with having Doublelift on your team. So where he ends up, or if he ends up coming back or not coming back or whatever, is going to be a very, very big story. And as we get closer to the end of the LCS regular season, as we get closer to the start of the LCS playoffs and the LEC playoffs, rumors are going to start picking up about where Doublelift is going, and we actually have a couple of different things to talk about in this video today regarding his potential comeback, potential landing spots, all that stuff. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy this video. I would appreciate that a ton. And subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. I think that 46, 47, I don't know, a decent chunk of people that watch my videos are not subscribed. So if you are watching my stuff, if you do enjoy it, if you like having it pop up, if you just watch me from your homepage instead of watching me from your subscription feed or whatever, just click subscribe really quick anyway. It won't hurt you. It's not going to change anything, but it would help me out a ton. With that being said, let's get right into this. So this is the reason why everyone is talking about Doublelift. This is why he's kind of popping up today. If you guys know, in the professional sports world, Tom Brady, legendary quarterback, he, decided he was retiring, and then he recently decided he was coming back. He unretired after just 2 months or less than 2 months of being retired. He's kind of flip-flopping back and forth. He's decided he wants to come back to professional play. Obviously, Doublelift, seeming to be a little bit inspired by that, tweeted this out. He said, Tom Brady, or my favorite football player is Tom Brady. Now, this is being taken two ways. Obviously, this is being taken a little bit as a hint of like, hey, I want to return. Some people are taking it as far as hey, I'm going to return, because that's the story of Tom Brady. He didn't say, hey, I want to unretire. I'm looking for offers. I want to come back. Tom Brady said, hey, I'm coming back. I have a team. I'm back now. Is that what Doublelift's talking about doing? I don't know. We do know, and I've made videos about this previously, that he has been making a lot of statements recently. He's gone on podcasts. He's talked to his friends and stuff about, hey, I still have that drive. I still have that desire. I still have that kind of itch or fire or flare or whatever to return to competitive. I always have loved it. I'm always going to love it. I'm always going to have that. And we know in this past offseason, Doublelift was trying to return. We know that he was talking to TSM. We know that he was talking to Evil Geniuses. Now, obviously, those teams didn't work out, and I don't really think still even to this day that either of those two teams are options. We know that Doublelift very recently has been trying to get back into professional play, and I'm sure he still wants to now. But obviously this tweet could also just be seen as complete bait. It could just be seen as farming interactions. It could just be seen as a funny joke. Now, I don't think it popped off maybe as much as he thought it was going to, or as much as he would have liked. It only got 2,000 likes, which, Doublelift has almost 1 million followers on Twitter. That's crazy. Obviously not all of those are active, but like Doublelift, he can drop a 10 to 15,000 like tweet every once in a while. But yeah, this tweet didn't really pop off, but it was something that a lot of people in the competitive League of Legends scene were talking about, which, I guess at this point isn't that many people. So maybe this was like all 2,000 LCS fans decided to like this tweet. The fact that of whether or not Doublelift is coming back. Now, what we do know is that he has been spamming, maybe not spamming, but he's been playing a lot of Champions Queue. He tweeted this out yesterday too. Champions Queue, second split starts today. He's been playing a lot of that. And obviously Champions Queue is meant to simulate that competitive environment a little bit. You get to play with teams, you get to have comms, you get to play with, really, really high level players. But it's for players that play in competitive right now, want to play in competitive in the future, want to practice, want to get to the LCS. It's for that type of stuff. Now, obviously, a lot of streamers and stuff playing it, but it's not people that are like playing casually. It's people trying to grind, trying to play hard. They're competing for cash prizes. They're competing for potentially, growing their name and growing their brand and trying to make a push to the LCS. So Doublelift has been playing a lot of that, which, could show me that either one, he just thinks it's cool and thinks it's fun, or two, he's trying to get back into the swing of things. Because in that recent podcast, he did say, like, even if you were to make a comeback, you're not going to be great right away. You're not just going to come in, even himself, he obviously thinks very highly of himself, but he's even said, hey, you're not going to come in and smash people right away. It's going to take time. So rather than trying to take that time while on a team or whatever, maybe he's starting that process already in Champions Queue. Now, I will show you from championsq.com, this is kind of like the stats and everything for Champions Queue. So far, his journey has not been going that well. He's only played 59 games, and obviously in 59 games there can be a lot of variance and stuff like that, but so far he's ranked 153, and he has a 38.98% win rate. Obviously, that's not great. Now, this is not something that you would just compare to normal, solo queue, because this is very, very high-level players playing with comms and trying their absolute hardest, or at least in theory, trying their absolute hardest every single game. It's not like you're ever straight up outclassing the players you're against, unless you're somebody crazy. Like if you're Summit or if you're Core JJ, you're probably outclassing who you're playing against pretty consistently. I know Core JJ won like 11 games in a row yesterday. But for Doublelift, a guy who's been taking time off and maybe trying to get back into the swing of things and playing against a lot of great players, you can see here, like, hey, he just played against Luger, and then he's playing against Keith a couple games, and he played a couple games against Arrow, he played against Hansama, Sven, he played against Jojo Pune, I don't even know, but yeah, you're playing against a lot of high-level players. Even if the other AD carry maybe isn't that crack, he still has a lot of crack teammates. The games are hard, so it's not like a one-to-one comparison with solo queue win rates, but man, 38%, is obviously rough. He has 23 wins, 36 losses. When you look at all the champions, he's mostly been playing Jinx and Aphelios. Neither of those champs have been going that good for him. Jhin, a little bit better, but still not that great. His most played champion with a winning win rate is Ezreal, and he's 2-1 on Ezreal, 50-50 on Kate, and then 1-0 on Lucian. But yeah, the champions he's been playing a lot, and the champions he's been spamming have not been going that great. So maybe this is a bad sign. Maybe it's just Doublelift shaking the rust off. Maybe it is him, trying to ramp up and get back in. Who knows? But again, then if we do talk about him potentially trying to make a Tom Brady move, trying to come back to the LCS, what team is that going to be on? TL obviously has Hansama. They're not really an option. This stuff we've talked about before. Cloud9 has Berserker. They've got Sven. They've got King. It doesn't really seem like they would be in the Doublelift business at this point. Evil Geniuses has Danny, and Evil Geniuses could have had Doublelift this past offseason if they wanted. It seems like him and TSM have burnt the bridge. That doesn't really seem possible. 100 Thieves has FBI, and he's a resident. That doesn't really make too much sense. And then you start getting into those middle-of-the-pack teams. I think FlyQuest would be pretty interesting. Now, I don't know where Doublelift and Aphromoo in terms of where they're at in terms of maybe wanting to play again in the future, but man, getting that Rush Hour bot lane back together with a FlyQuest team that's actually been shown to be pretty decent this year. I don't have anything wrong with Johnson. I think Johnson's been fine. I think he's all right, but I think obviously Doublelift at his best is levels above Johnson, and also adding Doublelift's kind of swagger and kind of attitude and veteranship and everything to FlyQuest could be very, very good for them. But one rumor that is starting to heat up and go around more and more, and I think we have to start looking at these middle-of-the-pack teams more, because all these guys like Jensen, Doublelift, all these guys keep saying Sneaky, Meteos, they're like, we're not going to come back unless we have a good offer for a good team, but like, if you really have that itch and that desire to play, at some point you're probably going to have to look at some of these middle-of-the-pack teams to prove yourself. Like especially at this point, the longer Doublelift sits out, the less likely that a top high-level team is going to come in and give him a bunch of money and a good roster and a good team, because they're taking a huge risk on a guy who hasn't played for a while now. But the new rumor that's going around that, I don't know, I think it could be interesting, but maybe it's unlikely, is this. This is a message that was getting sent around on Discord. A very super speculation, slightly rumor, so slight rumor, maybe it's something he's hearing behind the scenes. Don't quote me on this, so I removed his name and everything, but it's probably like a 10% chance Dignitas, it says got, but Dignitas get Doublelift. Obviously, they haven't got Doublelift yet. They're not even talking to anyone yet. Dignitas is still in the middle of their season. But Doublelift and Dignitas seems like it's a rumor that maybe there's a little bit of chatter going on behind the scenes. And I think it would make a little bit of sense. Obviously, Dignitas is kind of like a middle-of-the-pack team right now. If Doublelift is as great as he thinks he can be, maybe he could come in and help them. It'd be a way to maybe make some money, play in a low-risk environment, and start to show teams what you can do so that you can maybe get a contract to one of those big teams next year. At some point, take a risk on yourself for the future. If you sit out spring and then sit out summer, TL, Cloud9, 100 Thieves, TSM, they're not going to offer you a contract next year either. You're going to have to play. You're going to have to prove yourself. You're going to have to show people what you can do, and doing it on a Dignitas, a FlyQuest, Immortals, one of these teams, could go a long way for your future. Like saying I'm only going to come back on one of these high-level teams or whatever is very, very short-sighted, because I mean, that's just, ultimately going to be you not coming back at all. So, Dignitas Doublelift maybe is a rumor. Again, this guy's saying 10% chance. I don't know. But that is something that's getting thrown around out there a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. Doublelift back to the LCS would be interesting. I just think it's really difficult because what team's he going to go to? Who's going to want him? Where does he want to go? Where's the money going to make sense? Where's the roster going to make sense? I think it's really tough for Doublelift to come back at this point. And again, it's not like he's popping off in Champions Queue. It's not like, there's just not a lot of great signs for a potential Doublelift return. But he does have the tweet. He is, trying to get this going again, and we'll see what happens. I mean, within the next couple of weeks, we're going to learn a lot about all these teams' futures, Doublelift included, and we'll see what happens from there. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about Doublelift, where you think he's going to end up. Are you excited for him to come back, or do you want him to stay retired? I don't know. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.